perspective on 5.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our Focal Length series on NewsX and NewsX World. We are in conversation today with the Minister for Economic Development, Trade and Job Creation for Ontario in Canada, Vic Fedeli. Welcome to India and welcome to NewsX, sir.
It's great to be back, and thank you for your time with me today.
No, it's a pleasure. And of course, you're here primarily for the India AI Summit 2026, which is being hosted by New Delhi this time around. And it's appropriate because Ontario, that you represent as a minister, is actually the birthplace of AI. I don't know if all our viewers know that or not. So we're going to be exploring that, of course, through this conversation. But how significant is this visit for you?
I think it's really important. It's one of many. We come at least twice a year for an awful long time now. We've developed a lot of very good relations, a lot of Indian companies some startups who have come to Ontario, and some large companies, Paytm, Zoho, Tata, Consultancy. A lot of these companies, HCL, ITM, are located in Ontario now. We have thousands of employees. They come for our rich talent. They come for our clean, low-cost energy. And they come because you can export from Ontario to about 50 countries in the world.
Fantastic. Just talking, of course, about AI synergy and cooperation. Where does it exist right now between Ontario and India, and how are you working to further that?
Well, the sheer size differentiates us now. Of course, Ontario, the birthplace of AI, Dr. Geoffrey Hinton won his Nobel Prize last year for the creation of machine learning. But the size of India or China or the US compared to Ontario of 15 million people, our concern is always being eclipsed, which is why we need to stay on the front end, on that pointy end of the spear. So we invest a lot of money in our Vector Institute. This is Dr. Geoffrey Hinton's training ground. We have some of the world leaders in AI. We graduate about 1,100 AI masters every year. This year will be 1,700 are enrolled, 40,000 AI workers. It's about 10% of the AI workers of India, but they are all very senior employees in about 1,600 AI firms in Ontario.
Amazing. Now I have to ask you also to just speak more about this AI, how it's been furthered in Ontario. Ontario is often regarded as the birthplace of AI, as we can see in the banner behind you as well. How has Ontario played a role in furthering AI, in building AI, in the artificial intelligence that we see and use around the world? How has Ontario furthered this, and who have been the individuals within your province that have furthered this?
Well, I think our goal, of course, is that we have an end-to-end AI stack and make sure all our people in Ontario are familiar with AI and how to use it and what the benefits are. So when I think of Dr. Geoffrey Hinton, I think of sort of next in line is Raquel Urchison from Wabi. She's got a remarkable autonomous firm that just raised $1 billion, one of the largest, if not the largest raise in Canada, and it's a big raise for North America. So we've got leaders like that who continue to show the people the importance of AI. The one thing that keeps me up at night is, a company that would have made a floor cleaning machine where the person stands behind it and moves it along, and this company's been around for 50, 70, 100 years, not thinking AI. And you get a couple of kids out of university who develop an autonomous one. Now they're at 350 Walmarts. So it's making sure our SMEs understand. If you don't fully develop a comprehensive understanding of AI, somebody's going to eat your lunch.
Yes. And also now India. given the fact that we are hosting the AI summit this year, where a host of dignitaries from, of course, the world are in attendance, including yourself, how can India play a role in the AI race of the world? How can we also provide the world some sort of a direction as well in responsible AI, which is again something that has been emphasized on by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
Well, we're very impressed that India is holding this AI summit. This is unbelievable to see the people from around the world who are assembling here. This is a really blue chip week to see. So I think with that importance, I think that has elevated India. Now, of course, you've heard our Prime Minister at Davos recently and the speech that has really elevated Canada on the world stage. I think that is important to see both of us rising to the occasion worldwide. We have, I'll use very blunt language, we're in a war right now, an economic war with the United States, and we need to diversify around the world. And so when I think of the work that we've done with India since our government got elected in 2018, our two-way trade with India is actually up 60% since that time. And now to see the two countries elevated, our prime ministers are coming together in a couple of weeks. I think that's very, very timely and very significant that we're progressing together.
Do you also believe this reset in relations between India and Canada was essential as well? We've seen, of course, utmost cooperation. Unfortunately, there was a blip in the middle for a couple of years, year and a half to be precise, where relations had deteriorated. But is this upswing important? How do you see this reset in ties?
I think it's incredibly timely and very, very significant, very important. We feel in Canada that the U.S. is no longer a reliable partner, but you heard our Prime Minister some time ago look at India and say to your Prime Minister, we acknowledge you to be a reliable partner. So I think that all we have now is going together, no more looking back. During that time, that year and a half that you spoke of, Ontario, we stayed here in India. We were always here. When we were interviewed, we always said we will leave the geopolitics to the federal level. We're here to remind you that the business fundamentals in Ontario have never changed. So let's keep working together.
Well, interesting. Ontario has also been at the forefront of resisting sort of the tariff threats that we've seen as well over the last few months and weeks. How do you see, the tariff reset as well, or rather the tariff impact on the reset in global ties that we're seeing? Do you believe the kind of tariff positioning that the US has adopted has led many countries to reset trade ties? Do you believe it is leading also to new opportunities, and those opportunities should be tapped as soon as possible?
Yes, we did personally 30 missions around the globe last year to 20 different countries. It was an exhausting year, but very successful in rekindling our relations, which is why we see an uptick in our international two-way trade. I think it's very important. Canada is doing a CEPA, a comprehensive economic package with India. We're doing one with Southeast Asia, so Indonesia. These are all countries that are emerging to be superpowers. And so here we are, small 40 million country of Canada, doing these because people like Canada and they like what we do. They like our values. They know we're stable, particularly in the province of Ontario. We're reliable, we're dependable, but mostly we're predictable. You want to come and do business, you know what you're going to get.
Now, talking about, of course, trade between Ontario and India is at an high, and it's been rising steadily, of course, aided by a lot of your efforts and missions. But if we talk about the industries now in particular, which are the industries in India that you're tapping into for this trade? Which are the industries from Canada that are tapping into India for this trade? So where is the synergy happening? Which are the main sectors and industries that you're concentrating on in India and in Canada?
From India to Canada, life science is very important. Telephony, very important. From Canada to, from what we want from India as well tech firms, more of your small startups. We can help nurture them. They continue to help India grow. And so I think tech, life science, and of course, defense now. It's the way the world has turned. When you see the EU saying we want to spend 1.3 trillion on defense, Germany releasing their debt brake, 600 billion euros on defense, your country and my country, we can't let that go by and not get a piece of it. So we always look, how can we do it together?
Okay. Also, the FTA, we've seen India sign an FTA with the EU recently. We've seen one signed with New Zealand, also with Oman. Of course, there has been an interim trade agreement reached with the United States as well, finally, but the final fine print of that is still to come, and the signing, of course, will happen in due course. But are you hopeful that it will happen with Canada at a federal level soon as well? Of course, province to province, you have been doing your own deals, but are you hoping for one at the national level as well, possibly after the Prime Ministers meet soon?
I think that is in the cards. Certainly, the province or the federal government has asked us at the provincial level if there were to be one, what do you need in it? And we talk about what industries we should be making sure that we treat with delicate gloves to make sure that nothing happens. So I think it's going to happen one day. Again, we're in an economic war with an unreliable partner in the U.S. We'll turn elsewhere around the world and work together.
Yes. You also met with the Union Commerce Minister of India, Piyush Goyal. How was that meeting? And also, how has that helped in forging of even closer ties between Ontario and New Delhi?
I think I admire him, a very, very strong person for the country. And I think he has continued to get the mining sector interested in Canada and what we would have to offer through our critical minerals and the processes in which we can extract these minerals and then process them. I think that's been really important, and I understand your mining ministry will attend Canada. We have a very big world show, yes, prospector development show early in March, and I understand India will be in full force there.
Okay. Just again, speaking now about your visit to India this time around, what are the goals for your visit this week in New Delhi and to India, and what are you hoping will be some of the synergies formed this week as well?
Twofold. First, we have many bilateral meetings on the margins with companies. Mm-hmm. Companies here in India that we've been dealing with for 2, 3, 4 years. I'd like to close a couple of them and make sure that we have term sheets, mm-hmm, or letters of intent to make sure they are ready to have a facility in Ontario. But from the AI side, both our federal government and me here as the provincial government of Ontario, we want to be able to work side by side with India and show them we are good partners. We should be able to share our universities. More than 20 university presidents were here in India last week. I met with some of them in Singapore. Okay. After they finished here, they came to a function called Kayak, yes, in Singapore. We met. They spoke very strongly. They talked about the MOUs that were signed, and so that's encouraging to see.
Okay. Also, is it also a big show of faith in India and the prospects of India to have so many dignitaries in New Delhi physically for the AI summit as well? Is that a big stamp of approval on India's prospects in the sector and India's prospects economically as well in the world?
We're really thrilled. I've been coming to India for a long time. It's night and day from my very first trip here to today. This country is growing. They should be extremely proud of what they're doing. I think the fact that they've rolled out the red carpet here makes it a little slower to get around, yes, even more slower than usual, with the security. But they've rolled out the red carpet for world leaders, for provincial leaders. They show great respect. And I think the world is very appreciative of what India is becoming.
Final question then, you told us about, of course, Ontario's, advance in the AI sector, how it's helped the world, being the birthplace of AI. Jeffrey Hinton, of course, has won the Turing Prize for this and the Nobel Prize as well, so he's been acknowledged globally. But how has Ontario also learned how to use AI for the good and balance out its harmful effects as well? Because that is also part and parcel of the game, isn't it?
We have begun by looking at various discussions within our parliament and subsequently ended up with a piece of legislation that really is founded on a couple of principles. One is that we, as government, will tell our people, our citizens, what we're doing with AI, when we're using AI, and why we're using AI. It's full transparency. We have pledged that to them. The second part is to make sure that the people understand AI, understand the risks involved with AI, and to show them that we are proactively working to make sure that we beat those risks. But again, always showing them what we're doing. I think that's a positive step that maybe the rest of the world can look to Ontario to their leadership.
All right, Minister Vic Fedeli, thank you very much for your time and wishing you all the very best for this visit to New Delhi.
Thank you so much. Great to see you today.